This is my team website project. I built a website. This, for demonstration purposes, is for the North Texas Devils Aussie Rules Football Club. The goal of this project was to build a simple team club website that teams could use that has good usability both for the end user who views the website and for the admins who run the page. Quite often in team or club sports, you see websites that have very poor usability, either for the admins to update the website or for people viewing the page. For example, this is the current website that will be updated as we go for that same club. And when you scroll through the page, you see a ton of information, a ton of links, but it's very hard to find exactly what you are looking for. And if you start clicking around this website, it can be very difficult to find simple things like the player bios, information about the sport, information about practices, click club information, and yet there is still, you have to scroll all the way down and you still don't see where practices are, when they are, games. The actual rosters are not linked at the top. A lot of issues with usability for the end user. A separate problem, if you look at this website for a high school football team here locally, you can navigate through and see rosters, schedule, coaches, news, but the usability on the back end for admins to update this is very clunky, which is why this is not updated. So the end goal for this project is to have a simple to navigate for an end user with a backend for admins to update this website and keep it up to date regardless of their technical know-how, technical aptitude. So all of the different pages are viewable up here on the header, with the one exception of the admin login that I put below the footer to keep it hidden and out of sight. But this has your rosters with all of the teams. This dynamically displays from the teams that are listed in a normalized database using MySQL on the back end. And we can click all to see all of the teams or all of the players on each team with their information and a small photo. Schedules will list anything. If I click all here, it will load all of the events that are in an event table within the database. Information has important links like a practice location, region, practice days, and these, if they have a website, has a link. For example, practice location, if I click that, it opens in a new tab and it shows the location in Google Maps. If there is no link like this one here, then there will be no link to display. We have a sponsors page that has all of these sponsors and an announcements page for any announcements, anything like practice being canceled, etc. This one doesn't have a title, so it just says we won't be hosting regionals. And then a photos page where I can load all of those photos and click to expand them. If I jump back to home, this makes for simple usability for anyone who visits the website, which I think is very important to find the information that you want. But that is not the end goal. The end goal was to make this website easy to update for admins of the web page. So I have my admin login down here, and I can log in a very simple username and password. That will change after this demonstration, and I get to, all of these pages will be yellow to let the user know that they are in the admin area, and then I can select which of these areas I want to edit. So one of the common problems is doing something like adding an event or a game. So if I click schedules here, I have new, edit, delete. Now say I want to add a new women's game. I can say this event name is versus Houston. I'm going to say that it is a game. We'll put in an address, give it a date. We'll make this one for May 10th at 11 a.m. And my opponent is going to be Houston, and we'll leave the scores and results blank because we don't need those, and click add, get a little pop-up, and that is added. Now say I want to edit that same one, event versus Houston. Say I want to change the time to 1 p.m. I can click update, and that will be reflected here. If I want to delete that event altogether, also this is, I can click over to the main page, and under schedules, that was women's. I've got women versus Houston May 10th at 1 p.m. Now if I want to get rid of that game, I've got delete event. I can choose that and delete. It is no longer in my drop-down menu, and if I go back and view the women's schedule and force it to refresh, it is no longer there. So each one of these categories, teams and rosters, I can create a whole new team if I want to. I can create a new player. I can edit players. I can delete players. I can add pertinent info. I can edit. Practice is held at Old Shepherd Park. Say I want to add a link to this one, and I want to send this to usafl.com. Click update. Now if I go to info, now I have a link, and when I click that, it will route me to usafl.com. Say I want to delete some of these. Say I want to delete this one, don't really need that information, I can delete that. It is no longer in my drop-down menu. And if I navigate back to info, I only have 4 here instead of 5. So each one of these categories I can update and push that to my database and render that on the page. I also have photo storage through an Amazon S3 bucket. So actually let's make this teams and rosters. So I want to edit a photo here. We will take Mr. James Jonathan here, and I can upload, choose a picture. We'll go with this. Let's actually change this whole name to William Taft. William Taft, we'll say he's a defender, and his bio, Bathtub Billy, and he's going to be on the reserves, and I have added that photo, and I can update, and when I click update, that is going to send that photo to an Amazon S3 bucket and also render on my roster page. And now I see William Taft and his photo displays there. I can also click that photo and it will open in a new tab. Same thing for old Billy Mays here. and I can jump back to my main page there. And I have all of these things updated, just like that picture and person that I just added here. And that is my project as it stands now. All photos are hosted at in an Amazon S3 bucket. The database is built and normalized using MySQL, and the entire front end is built on in JavaScript using Next.js and Tailwind CSS.